How do you learn any subject or skill faster? Welcome to day one of your Superbrain mini quest. I am your Superbrain coach, Jim Quick of Quick Learning, and I'm here as always to help you to learn quickly. And that's the theme of our day together. I'm going to share with you a four-step process for learning any subject or any skill faster. Imagine I am your genie and I could magically grant you any one wish that you have. What subject or skill would you ask for? Think about it. Would it be Mandarin? Would it be martial arts? Would it be marketing? Would it be music? What subject would you like to become a master at? So I want you to think about that. Also, when I say this, like, if you're a genie, I want to grant, please grant me a wish. What wish would you ask for? So obviously you want to ask for more wishes. It's kind of like learning to learn anything. If you want to learn any subject or skill faster, the number one thing, the equivalent of asking for more wishes, is learning how to learn. Because if you can learn how to learn, you can learn anything faster. And that's what we're going to cover right now. So let's get into it. I want you to write down this, F-A-S-T. F-A-S-T. It's the key to learning faster. If there's any subject or skill to master in the 21st century, it's your ability to learn rapidly, to outthink, to outperform, to outlearn the competition. Because nowadays, the faster you can learn, the faster you could earn. So let's get to it. The F in fast stands for forget. It stands for forget. And you're thinking, Jim, I thought you're the memory guy. Why do I start with forgetting? Well, here's the key. If you want to learn something brand new, one of the things that keeps you from learning faster is your belief that you already know something. Does that make sense? You want to begin what they call beginner's mind. You want to empty your mind so that your cup is empty so you can put new information in. Because the cliche is true. Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's what? When it's opened, right? And so you want to temporarily forget about what you know about the subject so you can learn something new. The other things I would say to forget, two more things. Number two is forget about situational things. What do I mean by that? A lot of people don't learn faster because their mind is thinking about other things. They're thinking about the kids, they're thinking about their job, they're thinking about their business and their clients. And if you're trying to learn something like you're doing now, but 25% of your thoughts are somewhere and 25% are somewhere, that only really leaves you 25% to be here, to be fully present. And you don't want to dilute your learning. So you want to be able to be here, fully focused. The third thing I would ask you to forget is this. Forget about your limitations. Forget about your limitations. When I go on stage, and you might have seen this on video, I'll memorize 50 or 100 people's names, or 50 words, or 50 numbers, or 100 numbers, forwards and backwards. And I always tell people, I don't do this to impress you. I do this to express to you what's really possible. Because the truth is, you could do it too. That's right. You, your family, your friends, your team, you could do that and a lot more. Here's the thing. You weren't taught how. If anything, you were taught a lie. A lie that somehow your intelligence, your memory, your learning is somehow fixed like your shoe size. And we've discovered more about the human brain in the past 20 years than the previous 2,000 years combined. And what we found is we're grossly underestimating our own capabilities. So temporarily forget about what you believe is true about how smart you are. Because here's the thing, some people will go like this. They'll say to themselves, oh, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I have a horrible memory, I forget things all the time. And here's the thing, I'm getting too old, right? All of these excuses and these limits. And if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. That's the thing. So what you want to do is refrain from the negative self-talk because your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk. So that's the F, is to forget. Forget about what you know about a subject, forget about situational things so you can be fully focused. And the third thing is forget about your limitations. Okay, the A in FAST stands for active. Active, what do I mean by that? 20th century education trained us to be passive, right? You sat in a room and you had to sit quietly by yourself and you couldn't talk to your neighbor and you just sat there consuming information. But here's the thing, the human brain doesn't learn based on consumption, it learns better through creation. Let me say that again. You don't learn just by being lectured to and consuming information. You learn by rolling up your sleeves and getting involved and actually co-creating that experience. So the A in FAST stands for active. How can you be more active in your learning? Because here's the thing, we live in an age of electric cars and spaceships that are going to Mars, but our vehicle of choice when it comes to learning is often a horse and buggy, and it has this very passive, slow stance. And so what I want to do is train you to be more active. So when you roll up your sleeves, what can you do? You could take notes, right? You could also what? You could ask lots of questions. You could put comments, in our mini quest also as well. There's all kinds of ways you get active in your learning. Because here's the thing, learning is not a spectator sport. Learning is not a spectator sport. The S in FAST stands for state. State. Now, when I say state, what do I mean by that? I mean a snapshot of your mood, of your mind and your body, how you feel. Because here's the key to long-term memory. Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. And you know that, don't you? Is there a song or a fragrance or a food that could take you back to when you're a child? Of course, because that information was combined with emotion, and that's what drove it really deep into your long-term memory. So the challenge is, in our 20th century education, what was the primary emotion you felt back in school? For most people, they primarily felt two: boredom or they were confused. They were in school, they were bored because they were being lectured to. And if you're on a scale of 0 to 10 and your emotion is boredom, what's that? That's like a 0, right? But anything times 0 is what? Is 0. So that's why a lot of people don't remember the things that they learn. And memory is so important because even Socrates said, learning is remembering. Learning is remembering. So how do you add more emotion into your body, into your mind? Because you control it, don't you? You control it. Who controls how you feel? Right? This is the difference. And this is what the metaphor that I use. Imagine the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. What's the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat? A thermometer does what? It just reacts to the environment. That's its primary function. It reacts to the environment. And so there's a difference though, and we act as human beings. Sometimes we react. We react to the weather, we react to the economy, we react to how people treat us, and because we're human, right? But to the degree we could be a thermostat, what does a thermostat do? A thermostat's different. A thermostat sets a standard, it sets a vision, it sets a goal, it sets a dream, right? It sets processes. And what happens to the environment? It raises to be able to meet that new standard. And so you want to be more of a thermostat because you know what all leaders, what all super brains know, that success is an inside-out process. That to take the invisible in your mind and make it visible in the world, it takes effort. And one of the things besides visualizing it is you need to be able to feel it. I believe success has a three-part process. It goes from your head to your heart to your hands. But add that heart, add the emotion. That's the fuel that gets you going. So that's the state. And again, you are in control of your state. So how do you change your state? It could be something simple like changing your thoughts, right? So we talked about negative beliefs and just putting the opposite, right? And so you can look in the mirror and you can say to yourself, I have a great memory, I have focus, I learn things easily and effortlessly. So you want to change that conversation. The other thing you could do to change your state and how you feel is by changing your body. I mean, right now, just take a deep breath. A lot of people, and just keep on doing that right now and just repeat that naturally and just be relaxed. A lot of people, they suffer from mental fatigue or brain fog. And one of the best ways of clearing that mental fog and fatigue is by breathing, because that changes the way you feel. Your brain is only 2% of your body mass on average, but it requires 20% of the nutrients. Make sure you feed your brain. And the most important thing is you feed it with oxygen. So that's your state. And finally, as you're going through this program and everything else beyond it, the T in FAST stands for teach. The T in FAST stands for teach. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you learn it to teach it to somebody else. We learn faster any subject or skill if we have the intention of passing it forward, paying it forward, be able to learn it so we can share it with somebody else. So here's the thing. If I asked you to teach this tomorrow to your best friend, to your significant other, to one of your children, to somebody on your team, to one of your clients, will your focus be better? Of course it will. You'll focus better. Will you have better concentration? Certainly. Would you take notes better? Of course. Would you ask better questions? For sure. And so you want to be able to learn something so you could teach it to somebody else. Because here's what you want to remember. When you teach something, you get to learn it twice. When you teach something, you get to learn it twice. So let's do our quick review right now. I want you to say it out loud. What does the F in FAST stand for? It stands for forget. Right? What do you want to forget? You want to forget what you already know about the subject temporarily so you can learn something new. What are the other things you want to forget? Forget about situational things so you can be fully focused here in the moment with me. And then finally, forget about your limitations, because if you argue for your limits, you get to keep them. What does the A in FAST stand for? Say it out loud. It stands for active. You want to roll up your sleeves and get involved. Learning is not a spectator sport. Ask questions, post comments, take lots of notes. The S stands for what? State, because all learning is state dependent. All learning is state dependent. Never go into learning something brand new in a bored state. You control your state. Remember that. And you could change it with your psychology or your physiology. You could change your thoughts. You could change your body. And finally, the T in FAST stands for what? Say it out loud. It stands for teach. Because when you learn with the intention of teaching to somebody else, you're going to learn it better. Because when you teach something, you get to learn it twice. Now, we are just getting started. I'm excited about this because tomorrow I'm going to reveal to you the 3 reasons why you forget something and the 3 things you could do to have a super memory. This is your Super Brain Coach, Jim Quick. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.